Hello, welcome back to another video. I'm finally actually gonna do the tutorial for this door. 720, 6x6, FML, it's a flying machine that's world record. This will not really be an explanation because the door is actually pretty simple. The top is the same as the 760. The bottom was a pain to make. The tape is like the same. And yeah. There's no crazy minecart placements. The only one that would actually be crazy would be this one, if you actually got a locational spot. But that one's... we're gonna do that one eventually. And sadly, if you're doing this in survival, I cannot give you the list of materials because the command that does that, no one's gonna give it to me and I can't remember what it was. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. Or you can just count throughout the video of each material. And I also suggest that you should count the amount of rails, like about 10 rails and fences for the things. Anyways, let's start. So, before you build this, the front of your door is where these, like, 6 droppers are, with this dropper tower. And you're gonna face that, turn around, and you're gonna be facing, if you look on this F3 screen, where it shows facing south, so under chunk, which is under block, which is under XYZ, you're gonna see south towards positive Z. And that's where you want to be facing, because the top might look locational, but it's actually directional. So, I have tried this. So, it's not the same top as the 760 because there's this difference here. Because I needed a hopper timer here and the side pistons are slightly different to fire the sides. So yeah, let's start. So this is what you're gonna have, this is your floor level. And I suggest you dig deeper. So yeah. So let's build the layout. So you're gonna find this 4x10 space, and you're going to. So this is where your side pistons are gonna be. Actually, they're here. Sorry. You're gonna go 1 block in, another block in, and then go up 4 and then 5, like this, and then this is where your frame is gonna be. So it's going to be like this, and just to be noted, there are 2 stairs in the door. That's to prevent butting and additional powering that we do not want. So once you have this, we're going to do the side pistons. It's just the regular layout. It's the exact same layout from the past 761, but the bottom is slightly different. So you're going to have your side pistons. Then you're gonna have your quad at the top. I built this one too high. Your storage is gonna go back here on the 2 wide side. Like this. You're gonna need these blocks. Now I'm just using white wool for the inputs. This here is going to later be droppers. You only need these 2. Dust on these. Dust on these. You're gonna need this here. This here. And let me grab a magenta block for the quad extension. And then an O block there. And then a repeater there, and then we need, where is it? I broke it. Okay, it's fine. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna move that. back in there. Make sure. Sorry, I'm just grabbing the materials from here, not my inventory. Okay, so you're gonna have an orange block there, a no block there, and then a piston downwards there. Okay, like this. You're gonna have both your updated pistons here, because we need room for that in the quad there. So that's your top layout. Oh yeah, there's also a line block here. There will be an observer here with dust on it, but that's later. Okay, let's go to the bottom. So, and I built this one too low, so I'm just gonna do some world edit to fix this. Sorry about that. And I also added this for no reason. Okay, so you're gonna have this. Now, last time we had like a weird input that was directional, that was actually locational, where it was like this. But we don't have that because we can make use of this. And this is where the bell comes in, here, because this is part of light gray. So the bell is a transparent updater because there's going to be an observer here for the tape, and if it's a no block, it's going to power the piston and brake. So that's why this is a bell, and this is the only thing, and make sure it's actually on this block. We're going to have the 4 tick, so there's going to be an observer here later, but we're not doing that now. With a repeater on 4, it can be 3, but it's 4 because of the way it works. And this will do like a triple extender. It does a double extension, triple retraction. So if I just power this, powers this, then does a double pulse there, and retracts. Sorry, I made a mistake. That's a piston. So let me do this again. So now, and the bell rings like about 30 times in the door, I haven't counted. Now to do these pistons, when they're here, here, and on the floor, we're gonna use a slider. Now this slider was a pain because of where I had to put it. So it's gonna go like one like this, and then you're gonna place 5 observers like this, and then observer there, and then your piston at the end here, a solid block, that's solid, then a piston facing that way up. And we can also do these. Because, yeah. So, this acts as like a 0 tick thing. So, you might think that this powers 2 times, but it's so fast that it updates once, but as it's getting pushed back, it's turning off, so it never gets an update again. And because of, and this, you might think, well, why is that a piston? It could be a no block. Well, this is an instant updater, so now it will not work. So you can see, I'm using a button, but it's just too fast, so we have to use a piston. If there was a 1x1 thing that acted like a piston with like 1 microtick of delay, then I would use that, but there isn't. Now for the bottom, storage. You have those. So pretty much your standard. Also, yeah, I filled that. And now we have to grab this input is barriers, but it doesn't matter. So you're going to the hopper's there, and I think okay, so the hopper is gonna be like here. So then you're gonna get a line of observers with a hopper at the end. And this all facing upwards. Now this line here is all going to be like this later, as you can see here. Originally we had like a fat double extender thing here, but that didn't work out at all. So you can see here's the hopper, there's 2 observers, and there's going to be a sticky piston here later. And then you're going to have 2 wall blocks, or 2 of your input blocks. And these are rails, so they don't power the piston and this, because that would be bad. And it's also like, and this one can't be a dust because we have to be able to power all of them at the same time, because in the closing, as you see here, this block powers this, and there's also a rail on top of that. So that's the entire layout done, and now we're going to go to the input circuit part 1. So we're going to have a lever here, the same place as the original door. We're going to place a torch on the side. Now this is one of the parts that was different. Originally we had a hopper there, but I put a rail there because I felt like it. You can put a hopper here, but I suggest you do it how the door is done. So, and then I have to grab the red wool. And this just acts as your regular easy side pistons. They're not in sync, but I don't care. And we're going to utilize this torch for a hopper timer. Same hopper timer as the original one. So you're going to place 6 snowballs and a sign in this particular order, because that's how the items work. Now you're going to get your first comparator of the door. And we're actually going to build the top first. The top's going to be much faster than the bottom because we've already built that. This is also part of the input circuit, but it's mainly for top closing. We're going to remove this now because I don't think we need it now. We need this. I'm going to place 2, and I'm going to get... Okay, I thought that was a rail for a second. So you need dust, then you're going to need 2 observers, then you're going to need another one. And this one is a rail, as you can see here, because we don't want to power this. So that would be bad. And then we'll go into a red block here, an oak block there, and a piston. This is what's going to power the bottom for us. And that's going to send 2 pulses to the bottom. Okay? So that's part 1. As you can see here, we also need to include this sticky piston, as well as this vortex, the quad extension. Now we're going to go into the top closing. It's the exact same top closing as the original one. And I have items turned off, so items will not drop. You're going to place an item in there, it doesn't matter what it is. Then you need to get another comparator here. And an observer there. And then that. As you can see, we're actually going to share this block for the closing and the quad extension. So you can make this block either orange or magenta, but it doesn't matter. We're also going to extend this to here, and this is what I was talking about earlier. There will be a dust here, but we won't get to that yet. Now, you can see this is where the next part of the input circuit is going to come in. So this hopper, you're actually going to fill it completely up with whatever you need. Shovels, dirt. I'm using shovels because they're cheap. You can do like that, and then you have to go up with the dust, as you can see here. This can't be a block, as you may think, because there's a dust here, and this helps is that this observer is a transparent block, so it's going to move, so it will not move down and power the lamp, which is going to power the parts of the quad, which will not be good. And there will be a minecart in here later, but we'll do that afterwards. We're next going to do the rest of the input circuit. So we're going to have a dropper, make sure make sure this hopper is actually facing this way or towards the repeater. Okay, because that is very important, because the items from here will go downwards. And you don't want to make it face this way, like towards the hopper, because there's going to be a hopper this way, and we don't want those unstackable items going through the extra move circuit. So it's very important that it either face this way or towards the repeater. I'm going to need a dropper here. I gotta reset this because I broke it. And I also broke this. Okay, so originally we would have 2 droppers like this, But before we had things slightly different because the way we powered the tape was down here. But originally we had a comparator. This is the reason why this side's different. Before we had a comparator here, which was gonna get lost from this dust. So that's why in the last one there was like 16 items and then shovels. So to make sure that the tape doesn't power too early. But because this is 720, we have to make sure the bomb does everything. And if we have way too many items in here, the tape is going to go at the wrong time. Well, it would go at the right time, it's just that the tape is so slow that the top would miss blocks, but it would grab the last one. So that's why this is different. So this is just a swapping thing. The signal strength of 1, so please do not put shovels in here. Otherwise it's going to lock both hoppers, and your tape will not power, which means your quad will not power. And your door will not work. So make sure this is this. You can also do 2 snowballs, I think. But yeah, so you're gonna place 2 comparators here and here. I don't know if that one's a slab. It's not. So to power this dropper here to send the items back, we're just gonna place a 2-tick here with an observer above it. This is for the quad, so this will just send the items back. Then you're gonna do a hopper clock like this. You're gonna place 7 items in here. This is, oh yeah, I forgot. So make sure there's dust above it. And make sure 7 because it's perfectly timed. You can put a comparator here and then a rail, but you can't actually, because look, this dust is here and it's needed for a burnout here, and that's why this is lowered. So this is important the way it is. Everything has its reasons. This is an observer, and this is going to power your rest of the side pistons, as you can see here. So then there's this, and this does not need to be a slab, because even though we'll bud this observer pushing, powering this would update it anyway, so it won't matter. And I will prove that to you by doing this. Oh, never mind. Oof. Okay, so this is the rest of your input circuit. So that's the entire input circuit done. But we're almost, the only thing, we still have to power the tape. But, hold on a sec. Did I build it in the wrong spot? Oh yeah, so I accidentally put, so you're actually gonna put this note block here. And a dust there. And I made a mistake, this here has to be a slab. I used glass there because that's what I did at the time. So this will just act as the same thing, because this allows us to part this repeater, which will go into the tape, which will be the next circuit we're going to build. So down here we have a piston facing this way and a piston facing this way. This will help us, like, oh sorry, it's a sticky piston there. And this is why that has to be a bell, because there's going to be an observer here and we can't power that piston. So this is like one of the harder parts because of the way that it works. So you're going to go 2 observers out like this, and this will power this one, but to power this sticky piston, we're just going to take an output from behind this here with a block. So if you place a block in there and you just update that, and it even works with redstone blocks, as you can see. The other side is a lot more neater. So this piston could be facing like this, but to make a tape, but that's too hard, so I did not do that. You're gonna place a piston there and one aligned here, a resin block here, a dust, and this is where this might be a locational part, because some locations, if this is in your case, if this does happen to you, you're gonna place a torch here. If this comparator turns on when you do this, for whatever reason, that is because of comparator mechanics. So to fix that, I think you can place a redstone block here. So if I do this, it will not power at all, but when there's a redstone block, it will go through. Okay? So I believe that will fix that. And if that does not fix that, then what you can do to fix this, you might have to try this on your own. So this is actually one of the only uses for this thing. And to power this last piston, we're just going to utilize one of our hopper updaters. And like this. So this will do the whole tape. So you're going to place a resin block in there, and you're going to fire it. The reason why it's so slow is because of this. There's nothing you can do about it. It's perfectly timed to push all the blocks up here, and I accidentally updated it. I placed the piston under there because I'm good. So you go to place this, and this will push the blocks up one by one. And it might look faster, but it's because of lag, because there's a lot of people online. Well, not really. So that's the tape done almost. We still got a fire, but we're not going to do that yet, because once we actually get to the point where we need the fire, then we'll do it. But so let's finish off top closing. You're going to have 2 observers here, and that's going to finish the top. So this is why we're actually going to remove those 7 items and those 2, even though we did them, because it's going to power the side pistons, then we have to always reset them. So when you flip this, I was missing that dust. That is okay. If you did have that dust there, then it should do this. I don't know what happened there. I do not know what happened there. Did I do this wrong? No, that is correct. Strange. I'm gonna try this again. Let me see this again. I don't know if it wasn't reset properly. Oh, I see. So this has to be a hopper. My mistake. Because this piston was getting a 2-tick. So what happened was that it would get an update from here, then 1 tick later it would get butted, so it would get a 2-tick. And that would not work. And while we're at it, we might as well start building the quad circuit right in a little bit. So when we flip it, and this was not reset. This slice was not reset. Gotta redo this again. I'm sorry about that. If yours is closed, then keep it like that for now. And by the way, the 4x4 TNT hipster is coming soon. It's just a pain to build. So let's make sure this is actually reset now. So we can actually... Okay, now you can see it closed. The other side pistons would have went. Now, before we do the rest, we're going to place an observer there, a 2-tick there, and this would do your quad extension, which is magenta. See? This updating here cannot be redone. It has to be here, so it is very important. Next, we're going to continue to our quad, which is blue. So we're going to place this here with this. You're going to get a hopper facing this way for the dropper loop, like this. And then we're going to utilize this dropper here for this burnout, because there's going to be a 4-tick repeater in there. So you're going to make this face this way, the 4-tick on it. Then you're going to gotta grab the torches. You're going to place it into a torch here. A torch, then dust there. Then you're going to redirect this dust to face this way because we don't want it to power the dropper. So we're going to place a block there, tripwire there, and then you're going to place dropper, like this. So you can see over here. Then we're going to need a repeater to power this line here. So in this state, we are here. I just have to pull everything back up. And as you can see, this is all looking very familiar. We just have to send a 4-tick this way into a sticky piston with a lamp, because what's going to happen is this is going to act like a regular monostable, but it's going to power the sticky like a normal monostable and send a 0-tick into this line, making sure that these will not get an update so the storage doesn't break. It's going to pull this up, and then it's going to power this line, and then using this lamp turning on from the monostable, we're going to, I can't remember what this repeater's on. Okay, it's on top of a hopper. Okay, so you're gonna place a hopper here. I don't remember why this is a hopper. Okay, just do it like this. I don't know why that's a hopper. It's probably from the original design when I was building it. And then you're gonna need this dropper here, and while we're at it, we might as well place a minecart here while we're at it. So now, this should be the whole quad. So when you flip it, it should do the whole quad when you unflip it. As you can see there. So now we're going to get to the extra moves to finish off the top. So while we're at it, to do the extra moves, you're going to remove all of this for droppers, and this last one's going to be facing upwards. And I need my hoppers again. Now this is going to be another one of those hoppers where you have to completely fill it up, because there's going to be items moving above it. Hold on. So you're gonna need this. I broke that. And make sure that this is facing this way and not from the repeater, or it will not work. So we're gonna have that. Another hopper face this way. Now we're gonna get at our line and need compare there. Also broke this. And don't place any items in there yet. Just like that. And this is where, sorry, this hopper's facing the wrong way. Face this way. And then we're gonna destroy this entire input for a second. I suggest that you just remove all the pistons in this sack right now. It's about to get a little messy. So in here, you're gonna place place a hopper facing this way, then you're gonna have some droppers. So it's actually not facing this way, sorry. Face it this way. We're gonna have dropper facing this way, dropper facing this way, hopper facing this way. And then if we remove this here, you can see we have another clip thing. So you're gonna need this here. I think that's, oh yeah, so this hopper I made a mistake. So you're gonna remove this observer really quickly, make the hopper face this way. Repeater. Then you're gonna link that into there. Now this is why we need this filled. So what we're gonna do is connect this, and then before we do the clip, what we're gonna do is remove. Why did I do that? Okay, it's fine. We're going to do this and just roll the chest minecart in, and it would be perfectly placed to work. And if you're doing this on a server, and you're like an admin or something, or there's an admin on the server with you, I suggest you get like barrier blocks or something to cover up the minecarts. So that will go into there. Dust. We can now replace everything that we broke. Like I said, why did I do the stack? I should not have done that. You should have removed those. So next we're going to do the rest of the carts. So we're going to remove these two. Remove this observer, sorry. Then you're going to do this. And then you're going to roll this minecart in. It's going to go from there to here. Now, I actually did a mistake here, so you're not going to do that. You're going to get out one of your fences. You're going to roll this in. Now, before you let it go down, you're going to... Oh, never mind. You're going to place this observer up here, and then you're going to push it down. I'm just using a button because I feel like it. And then you can do this. Now we have to do another cart. It's gonna go right here. This is a simple one. Fence. This. Push it in. So that will do all the minecarts for the top. And now all is left is the items. So you're gonna need one. Actually, don't do the items yet, sir. You still have to build the rest. So from what you can see, this is perfectly timed. So you're gonna go over here. You're gonna get a slab. And then import check repeater here. Sticky piece in there. An observer. And this is why this hopper is useful, because it can let us send the signal through. And it has to be filled because of that, like I said earlier. You're gonna place an observer there. Gonna see how it continues back through the system, through the storage. So it's gonna power this, powers this, and this, the dust I was talking about earlier. And then you're gonna need a repeater on vortex here. And then you're gonna finish the door off by removing this. This is why it has to be slab, so it does not power the hopper, create a clock. And then go back into there. So this should be the whole top done. So what you can do is fill this in. If you didn't do that, if you didn't remove those, then that's fine. Now it's just the items. So you need one item in this dropper here, and then one item in this dropper here. So now we can test the top. I suggest you don't test this just in case it doesn't work for me. So you're gonna get ready with these extra quartz blocks. Let's get this. And do it again. And you can see it goes all the way back up to the third part. And if you check the items, there should be one back in here, and then one back in there. So your top is now done. Now, we're not going to build the tape refire yet, because we still have to build the bottom. So the bottom was an absolute pain to do. So we're actually going to go in the order of how it was built. So we're actually going to build the quad first. So before we do the quad, we have to build this little part down here. So we're going to place a cyan block here. You're going to place 2 vortex facing this way. And then I have to check the observer placement. So you can see that it was actually a 1 tick vortex, sorry. So it was a 1 tick here. 4 tick, 1 tick. And this is what's going to go into the gray circuit to finish the door off, as you can see here. Now, this 4 tick is used to do the double pulse for this thing. Okay? So, this is also used for the closing. So, you're going to remove this observer as a hopper, place this back here, 4 tick, then you're going to get a dust. And that dust is actually going to be redirected eventually from here. Then you're just going to place a yellow block here. And then there's going to be like more observer mess, but it's fine. And that's what's going to do cyan in this little area to retract. So if I set this up, so it's going to be in this position. And I suggest that you just redirect this redstone for now. And then you're going to extend this piston, then retract it, and it should go all the way back down again. Just using this little tiny cyan circuit. Okay, now we're going to move on with the rest of the quad. So, we're going to start, and this is where like the entities are for the bottom. So, this comparator, as I realized earlier, okay, is weird. So, if it does give off a 1 tick, you might have to try the redstone block thing here, and do not put this on subtract mode when you do that. And you could attempt to try a 1 tick repeater facing this way. Okay? Actually, what you should do is this. Actually, not like that, sorry. It makes the door bigger, but as long as it's fixed. You're gonna have something like this. So if this gives a 1 tick, it powers the comparator, but this should not ever happen. Like, ever. So you can see. And then what you would do here is basically a block, a dust, and then this would be your sticky piston. Here, from this. You place a dust here. But in this case, we don't have that, so it's fine. Place a sticky there. And then we're going to do the first bit of the minecarts. We're going to get a piston. Actually, we're not going to... Before we continue, we're going to do this, just in case we actually have a minecart clip we have to do. So you're going to go to the bottom right corner, sticky piston, observer, and you're going to place a dropper facing this way and a dropper this way. This is how you determine if you need a minecart clip or not. Actually, sorry, I did it the wrong way. This is up, and this is like this. So you're going to place an item in there for now, and you're going to extend this and then retract it. If the item pops, because what you want, actually, sorry, the item's in there. Actually, in the finished order, the item's in here. But that's just how it works. So you're gonna place an item in here. If you retract it and the item pops up through here, like instantly, then you're going to need a minecart clip. So it went into there, so you're good. Because to prevent this clip, we can do it anyway, but it won't matter. So you're gonna place a dropper facing this way, and we have to get a minecart from here to here. So, gate, and then you can't have a slab here or whatever, because there's a moving thing there. So, you do this, and then you push it up with the soul sand from here, and then you click in. But in this case, we don't need that, so we can just do this. Okay, so this is locational, but it does not matter. And this must be in this order, otherwise this hopper would not have to be here. But I did it like this because it's compact. So, in this case, because if you did have to do the Minecart clip, then you would just do it now. But if you didn't have to do that, then you can just remove this. Next, you're going to have to place a piston here. And you're going to place a note block here, this is very important. And then you're going to remove this, and you're going to get a minecart of any choice. I'm using a furnace one because it has like no use. And you're just going to roll it in. I'm just going to do this. And then what you need is a cobweb here. If this cobweb is not here, it will not work. So you're gonna have this here, and this will give this a pulse. It won't do anything. It will power this thing, then it will pull away, and then we have to perfectly time this to go up. So that's what this timing thing is, and that's why this note block is needed. So what we're gonna do is have this, then we're gonna do another clip. At one point, I was really close to using a chicken or an endermite in the door. I just have to do stuff, so you're gonna roll this, and then like this. Then here you're gonna need a wooden pressure plate because of the delay, and you could technically use a stone pressure plate, but you're not using a mob, so it would not work. So a wooden pressure plate is good enough, and it will help us reach all of these dust. So if it was a gold pressure plate, it would only reach this one, and that's why I was gonna use a chicken, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna let the signal grow like this, because what you can do is you have multiple entities in a spot with a gold pressure plate. If you push them both up at the exact same time, it will go one signature and then it will eventually go to 2. So I try to fit enough chickens in there so it go from like 1 and then go through all of them or something, but that never worked. So eventually it came to this. You're gonna place an observer there with a repeater. This is where that location part was going to come in, but before we do that, we need a sticky piston here, this, and then a repeater on one tick. This would pull everything downwards before the refire, which is going to power this piston using that dropper circuit here. So here we're going to have a sticky. This is going to get 2 pulses because it's going to turn on, it's going to extend to nothing, then retract and do what it needs to do. So if you already did that minecart clip, you're going to try not to move that, and then you're going to build your dropper loop. Just like this. Sorry, like this. And the item's going to be in here. Okay? Actually, it's like this. My mistake. And then you're going to prepare to power this piston soon. We're going to remove some stuff. This is where your comparator is going to go. It's going to push this up, refiring the quad part of it, and then that's going to go into there, as you can see here. And this will be your whole quad done. So to test up your quad, you're going to power this, and then going to come back here and place your redstone block on this particular rail, or here or there. Okay, and because we haven't connected it yet, you're just going to have to quickly power this piston. And then you're going to want to fire your tape. So at this point, we're not going to fire the tape yet. That's going to be the last thing we're going to build. So that's going to cycle around. And if this computer is ever powering, then you can try to fix that. Or try different. So this is only long like this to make it work. Oh yeah, because I didn't make the connection for this. That's obviously why it did not work. And then this did not go through because I did not do this right. So if you did test your quad, it's okay. We'll fix that afterwards. Just make sure all your toggles are in there. So that's retracted. This one here. This one's upwards. This one's upwards. This is retracted, and your item's in there. Now we're going to build the closing circuit. So the connection, you're going to place an observer here. Now you're going to remove this observer because it was needed for redirection. And this is it. Now you have to power this hopper, which is going to power the bottom storage, and that's what's used here. Now this block does bud this, but there's nothing to update it. But we can also utilize this block to power the extensions. So you're going to put sticky, then you're going to attempt to get an observer to face this way. So, like this. This will power the bottom storage, and then you're going to get an output from this piston with an observer here. Don't place anything in here when placing this. Place it like this, otherwise you're going to power this. Then you're going to place this, then you're going to sticky this and make sure it's outwards like this. And then you're going to, this was the part that was driving me nuts. So here you need a slab, so it does not bud this piston and create a clock. And this here is what's going to power the final bit of storage. But we're not going to do that yet because we still have to power this bottom line. So we're going to actually reuse this hopper here to do this. And then the final bit to finish it off is an observer facing this way, and then a sticky piston on top of this hopper, and then an observer facing. You're going to hold shift on the bell and click it so it's inside there. And the last thing we have to do is, wait, hold on, you also need that, very important. The last thing we have to do is power the tape to finish the door off. Now, I made a mistake. This here does not need to be a stair, because at one point I had a dust here because of how it worked before, but now I don't need that, so it's fine like this. So now what we're going to do is do the tape powering, and that'll be the door done. So to power this tape, we're going to just make a little zigzag thing. So this piston here is going to be like that, because we want it not to power this note block, otherwise we would need a transparent updater that a repeater can go on top that's instant. And that's impossible because the note block's the only thing that can be that, besides a bell. But a bell, you could place an observer here if you wanted a bell, but then you have two bells, which is really bad and obnoxious. So we're now going to place a hopper here, and then you're going to make this kind of weird zigzag pattern with two observers, like this, one like this, and like this. So this should finish the door, but do not test it, okay? Because it might break. So we're going to check everything. I'm going to go through the door and check everything. I suggest you do that too before you do that. So we're going to go from left to right. So this is retracted upwards. This is downwards. This is downwards. Item in there. We still have not done these. So you can place your 2 items back in there, and then your 7 back in here. So 2 in there, 7 in there. This is completely filled and pointing either towards this repeater or to the back there. This is downwards. This is on. This is on. This is off. Everything's retracted, so that should be it for the top. Almost. So we have to have an item in this dropper, so the one that points in here. Then you should have this dropper here. Now we can go to the bottom. So this is extended, this is retracted, that's extended, this is retracted, this is downwards. Come on. So this is retracted. There's a resin block up there. This is retracted. Item is in there. This is retracted. That's retracted. That is over here and not over here. So this should be the whole door, so do not test. Now there's no cooldown like the last door because there's only 7 items. But I suggest you wait like 10 seconds or so, 5 seconds, and then we can open it. And you can see the tape's perfectly timed, and that's going to push all the blocks up. And now the quad should in fact work because we added this connection. So this actually worked this time. Oh, I see, so I made a mistake. This has to be like this. I'm dumb. So we'll repair the quad now. And now we have to wait for that to go. So now you can test it. You can fill in the door. I'm just gonna use the... So this must be a stair. Or a slab. I'm doing it like this, so it looks like a block. Then you can fill everything else in. Like so. So that is the 760 block. I broke everything. I broke everything again. Woohoo. So that is the 720 block 6x6 door. I am attempting to make a 7x7 that's like extremely small, but right now I am not getting close with that at all. So if you had a floor here, I suggest you remove it like this, and make sure you don't update any of these, and make sure you're not building this in a version where when you place observers they update. So that should be the whole door done. If you tested it and it did not work, you should go back to the tutorial. And as you can see, I built this one block too low, but it does not matter. So I'm actually going to remove this because I don't need it. And all the carts are obviously going to fall, but it does not matter. I'll get them after. Bye. So that's the whole door done. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I have attempted to make a layout that's so much smaller than this, but I have not managed to get that, and there's a floating lever. So, remember this is facing the south direction towards the positive value of, what's it called, Z, where these guys are. If you have any problems with this at all, let me know. Make sure this is a stair, like I said. So this here, people have told me, why is it so slow, and could it be changed? It probably could be changed if this was a wooden pressure plate. It could only be changed if this was a wooden pressure plate, and if you had a block that was thinner than a slab, or higher than a slab. So if you took like a slab and cut it in half, that you can put upside down. But there's no block that does that. So that's the whole thing done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next